Hello again guys, welcome back to another, welcome back. Welcome to another new playthrough. This is What Remains of Edith Finch. Now, I know little about this game. What I do know from looking it up is it is a little bit short. What the hell is happening here? Edith Finch, okay. My journal. Anyway, yes, this is a new playthrough, so let's go on ahead and see how good this is. It's a very interesting looking game anyway. Whether it's creepy or not, or scary in any way, I do not know. I pressed a button.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that.
Unacceptable.
I'm just gonna start at the beginning, with the house.
Okay. Oh cool, we get to do the wee flashback. It's a funny looking house.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Why not, Edith? Okay, R2 to open
Inside the
things.
mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
And we don't open them because we're a good child.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Aww. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's the words. I like that.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
The finches. And all the little finch birds. Very nice. Hope my microphone's loud enough, guys. I really do. So yeah, I've heard this game is quite short.
I wanted this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Hoof prints? Is that just a horse, or is it the devil himself? Or a deer?
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I have questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Missing Milton Finch.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Okay, you were afraid.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
So that's the way I was supposed to come in? Can we go back outside? We can't. Ah.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
This place looks fairly well maintained for a house that's been empty for 7 years, as you're suggesting, Edith.
For the first time in years,
Yes.
I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
I wouldn't complain about that. God, I want Chinese food now.
Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly. The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
There's no dust.
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Someone has been cleaning the dust off the shelves in your house for 7 years.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Plenty of junk. Nice table. Looks like a butthole. Sort of.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
After it sank. Okay, we can't... Oh. Okay, there's all their dates. Judging by this, I'm the only one alive. Dawn died in 2016. I guess we're going to play through and find out. I really like the style of this here game so far. I really do. Dawn Finch. It's a pretty cool little style, art style. The house is so strange. It's like tree houses piled up on one another. That was like an optical illusion. I thought it was only one Finch and it was two. That was strange. We could go down there. Is that where the key is for, maybe? Okay. It's very interactive, at least.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
And we came through here. Is it just me, or was this place a little bit brighter? Maybe not. Oh, look here. We don't get to sit on this, no? I've always wanted to sit on one of those.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
I think we'll go down to the basement first.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Well, that's a bit of a disappointment. Do you mind telling me what this is? That's like expanding foam blew into the door to hold it.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Right. Do we have any more peepholes? Let's go upstairs.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
So there's plenty of peepholes for me to look through. is that? Sven? Molly.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Long dead.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Aha! 20,000 leagues under the sea.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
Chapter 1. Oh. Hold, push.
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
I don't want to go in. Let's go.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
You and me both.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Hi, that's creepy. So we're...
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Did we eat the gerbil?
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. My Halloween candy was all gone. I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
We're not going to eat Christopher, no matter how hungry we are, child. This is definitely like a fairy tale. Okay, Molly, let's go out of the room.
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. I don't want to sleep. I want to eat.
I kept eating and eating. I ate a lot of things that night.
Can we eat the rest of these? Pity we didn't leave anything in there to eat.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
What? You're a freak.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Whoa. We can't jump to our death.
I jumped and I almost got her.
Get up.
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
Rabbits. Oh, gotcha.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit.
Where?
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
And that's where you died. With Shark Simulator. What the fuck?
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Hey, seal.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Oh, poor little guy.
I grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Oh, shit.
I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
This is really strange. Hey. Ugh.
I got closer and closer. All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
You're a sick, twisted little child.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Oh, we can't go back on ourselves.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Edie's room, okay. A little budgie. Bob, Burpy. No name, Derpy. Herpy. Purply. Okay.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
Is that it? I guess that. Ah, I didn't mean to do that. Back out, back out.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
It's very colorful.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Yeah, you're damn right. Nothing else. I can't look through that peephole. Is there anything else here? There is not. Odin.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Nothing else in the pink bathroom. Built 1937, Sven Finch. Well, what do we got? We can't go back out. Triangle goes into this. We can't open the door. How the hell do we get out of this room? There's nothing actually in this, is there? I was holding the button, the zoom button, and it's doing this.
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johann. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Is that it? I guess. Well, we're not going back out anytime soon. It won't let me leave here. And we can't get out through the bathroom. I can actually see myself. I'm wearing a little necklace. What the hell do we do?
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island.
This is quite glitchy, this here.
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
So we've made it there full circle. Okay, now we
Whatever's
can go.
wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
It does. Close.
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
Climb out. She's not going to climb out, so... God damn it, I hate being stuck in a room in these games. Is there something to lift, maybe?
Great-grandma had always been the family's biggest fan.
Maybe there's definitely other things to look at in this room. Is that why it's not letting us leave? Aha. Open it.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Well played. Calvin Finch.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Mitten. Fort Calvin. Oh, I don't mean to go back there.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did.
Why are we going sideways?
At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Calvin! Dinner's ready!
Coming! But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
Just wanna jump?
I told him going around was impossible.
Oh. Something I always used to try as a kid.
Maybe if I hadn't said that.
He'd still be alive today.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
This would be pretty cool in VR, but you feel so nauseous. I feel quite sick.
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
It's gonna snap.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story
Calvin.
felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Me too. Oddly relatable. Poor Calvin.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again. The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
We'll go in here.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
So, oh.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of. The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Oh, didn't mean to go back into that. It's a lot of peepholes, isn't it? Right, so we've sort of come full circle a little bit. That brings us back out here, so we'll go underneath and go to Barbara's room. Mitten.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it the surprise ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up, a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
I guess we're going to the basement.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Oh, what way am I
And
turning
as
this?
she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Ho-ho, Halloween music.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
We can play pool. Hit the ball. Or not.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
What the hell?
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
They're obviously trying to get your scream.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Here we go again. Get rid of that clock. Attack of the roller skates.
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Out the window.
She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
Whack. Yep. Down you go.
But she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Let's go get him, girl.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time.
Should have checked under the bed.
Pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Poor Barbara.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
I don't think so. Poor Barbara. Anyway, guys, I'll end part 1 of What Remains of Edith Finch right here. What a strange little game this is. I really do like the art style, but it's such a strange game. Something out there. Anyway, guys, part 2's coming right up. I hope you're enjoying this little one. I'll see you in the next video.